So Stephanie, the question that all artists hate, tell me about yourself. But I'll get a little bit more specific. So you're a performer, you're a singer, dancer, actor. How did you get started? I think that's more specific. How did you get started into all of this?
Okay, well, firstly, thank you for having me. Glad to be here. So I, like many, started singing when I was in primary school. I joined the junior and senior choirs of the Bishop Anstey Junior School. At the time, led by Mr. White and Mrs. Shagbeer. I loved singing from a very young age, and my love for performing developed when my parents actually took my little sister and myself to one of the Love Movement concerts in Adam Smith Square. And my mom looked at us and she said, "Would you like to join that?" And I remember looking up at her and saying, "Okay." And I joined when I was in Standard 5, so I was probably about 9 years old maybe. And I have not left since. My very first major production with the choir was the following year doing Disney's The Little Mermaid, where I played one of Ariel's sisters, Mer sisters, and I was in my Heelys wheeling across Queen's Hall stage.
Heelys. Oh wow!
Listen, for the effect, it was for the effect.
I forgot Heelys existed.
Technically, they still exist. They don't? They don't exist?
I don't
I've
think
not
they
seen them.
sell anymore.
The hype has gone, so maybe
The
not so
hype,
much.
exactly.
Okay, but yes, you were in Little Mermaid, so you were healing yourself across the stage, being a mermaid.
Yes, yes. And from there, there have just been so many other things happening. I eventually graduated from high school, and then from there, I went to the University of the West Indies, where I studied and got my certificate in theater and education, and then further going on to my bachelor's in musical arts, and just now becoming a recent graduate of that.
Woo!
So as you've officially gotten all the credits to graduate,
Yes,
you just
yes,
haven't
yes.
done the ceremony.
Yes, that is correct.
So you just had a cross stage now.
In October.
Yeah, no. You just had to pay some stupid amount of money to cross stage now with a rented gown.
So
I said it.
we didn't. We didn't. I'm a proud UWE graduate. All right. Anyway, and I enjoyed crossing the stage, but so you started off very, very young, right? So now you're how old now, if you don't mind me asking?
I will be 23 in 5 days.
Right. So from the young tender age of 6, 7, 8, 9, somewhere around there, to now, we're just gonna throw to a quick clip of Stephanie singing.
Hey, a little cameo by somebody in the background there. I wonder who that was.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know who that was. But great, right up in the chariots. Right? That's such a great song. And I know that kind of became a road march for the past year. A little bit. You did it for a jury or something?
Yes, so I learned it in school, in university, for an exam. And then from there, people loved it so much and said, you're a soprano and people love to hear sopranos sing high, as we do.
Yes, the money notes.
And that just kind of became the road march, as you said.
Okay. Interesting. So, as you said, recently graduated, well, about to graduate, fulfilled all of your credits. This question is kind of intimidating, but I'm not going to say what's next, but I'm going to say what are some of the long-term goals? What are some of the career goals going forward now?
Okay.
School, those who don't know, university is in fact a career by itself, and sometimes you need to just focus on school, and then once you've graduated, then you can focus on
Thank you for that. I agree with that. I endorse that 100%.
So what's next? What's next for you?
100%. Yes. So right now, I honestly am just looking to expand my horizons in terms of performance and get into other things that I have not necessarily tapped into as yet. At this point in time, I have gained a lot of experience over my years singing with multiple choirs, and singing with a choir and singing as a soloist vocally is very different. So doing more solo things, just whether that means at some point in time reaching on Broadway or working on a cruise ship as a performer, you know, just trying to do different things, you know, that will make me money. Doing what it is that I love to do.
Right, of course, of course.
So yeah, I've always loved the stage and the practical side of things.
Okay, so definitely these stages you go.
Yeah.
Right? Nice. So, go ahead.
But is it just limited to singing? Because your education is more involved than just that.
Yeah, for sure. So I do dance as well. I am trained at dancing. I started dance actually before I started singing. A lot of people don't know that. So I started with Caribbean School of Dancing, ballet, and then got into some modern things. And I actually also took a course in my second to last semester doing modern dance in university as well. So I would like to experience, I have done a lot of singing with dancing, but in terms of just dance alone, I don't have much of a career there. I would now that I have more freedom, more time.
More time. More time.
To explore that side of performance, then yes, of course. So, but I think all around, trying to develop professionally as being just a dancer or just a singer, they both take a lot of time.
Right.
Yeah.
So
you're going to focus on one more than the other.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So because I spent so much time majoring in voice for my degree, dance kind of took a back seat, you know? So it was like, now that that is finished, I would like to get back into it, you know? So yeah, it's kind of like a juggling act, because there really only 7 days in a week, and there's only so much you can do.
And some of these big artists have the same 7 days, and I wonder how. But anyway, so you're doing all of those things. Now you started from very young. What are some of the things that you probably learned along the way, be it professionally, just in general, those sort of things?
Okay, so I think now I've kind of narrowed it down to two things. I've learned a lot over the years, but two main things, especially when it comes to singing, get a vocal trainer who is fit for you specifically.
That's very important.
Yes. So I've had instances where people would recommend someone to me, you know, to go by. And, you know, well known, they have a name, they have a brand. But you reach there and you have your session with them and you don't leave feeling your best. And then there's the flip side where you find a vocal teacher and it's like, this is your person.
Right.
So not everyone is for everyone. And that's what I've kind of had to learn through trial and error. Because like I just said, someone may have a great experience with somebody, and then you can go and probably not have the same experience, and vice versa.
Right.
So just find someone who is for you, well experienced, knows your voice, because the voice is such a personal thing, you know. Two people may not sound the same all the time.
But then when you say this could also apply to other artistic endeavors, because to some extent you need not just a teacher, it's almost like a coach, particularly with voice. But in other things as well, perhaps, like you need someone to kind of understand you so that they will then know how to help you develop, as opposed to, well, this is the way I've always done it. I've done it for everybody this way. And if it doesn't work for you, it's a you problem. It's like, well, I don't know if that's
Some
always...
mentor of sorts.
Yeah, well, and to some extent, maybe more than a mentor, because I guess for parents with children now, to some extent, they might also have to be cognizant of the fact that, look, this piano, vocal, guitar teacher might not be working out with my child, doesn't necessarily mean it's the instrument or my child. Could be the teacher, and maybe I need a swap.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. And there's one question that sort of jumps up.
Hold on, you said there were two things. That
Yeah,
was
there
one.
were two things.
Yes, what's the second thing?
The second thing would be if you is learning to when to move on, you always start somewhere. You have to start somewhere. Everybody starts somewhere, right? But I think a major thing that a lot of us as performers kind of have to navigate at some point is learning when you've outgrown where you have started. Yes. And just learning how to let go and having the confidence within yourself to take that leap of faith and just go into something new or something bigger, you know, because if you stay within the confines of your comfort zone, you're never really going to get anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, this is sort of a follow-up question to that, if you don't mind me asking. So what are some of the, what do you feel? What are some of the signs that tell you maybe it's time to move on? Because I would say even for me, once I start feeling like I am no longer, like I'm not myself, or I feel like I'm doing things just to get by and it's kind of betraying myself and my personality a little bit, then I start to ask the question, is this right? What are some of the things that you, in learning that, what are some of the things that you recognize within yourself, that you experience that you're like, okay, it's probably time to go? Well, not go, but...
No, yeah, I understand. Whether it sounds bad or not, honestly, when you get bored and tired.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like when you realize that this is just a constant thing and you keep going and it's like, I don't really feel any different. I don't really feel like I'm learning anything new, you know? And I think a beautiful part of just life in general is learning different skills, learning something new every day, you know? So if you've just been stuck in this, you know, hamster wheel of just, you know, the same thing, and at some point in time, that's when I kind of know, okay, maybe I need something new.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Would you agree that it might be the fact that you just feel like there's no more point? You've done it repeatedly, and now there's a lack of almost this professional satisfaction of doing it, continuing to do it over and over. Like there's no point in it. Whether I'm there or not, it's not going to make that much of a difference. You know, even some people might miss me, but like artistically speaking, for the work, like you said, it's a hamster wheel. So they just need a hamster. They don't necessarily need me.
Oh.
Any other hamster will do, right? Like because the process, I guess you stop learning. Like you have nothing left to say, to do. There's no more of a point there for the specific person in the specific position. If we were to be critical about it, and then yes, it probably is time to move on. Because I think, and a lot of times with shows and even in sports, like some people leave early and they're like, how could you do that? Seinfeld is like, well, leave them wanting more. I don't want to stay there until they want to get rid of me. I want to go on top. Like there is a point, artistically, especially when there's nothing new to add. Would you agree with that? Like you've run out of things to, I guess, say or do in the environment.
Yeah, and I think on top of that, life keeps going in general, so making space for new people to come in and learn what I've already learned, that's equally as important.
Okay. And there's a lot of adults as well who actually don't think like that, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So we do have to wrap up, but I do have one final question, and it's something that once I get the chance or once I remember, I will ask all of the artists and the performers here. How do you define success?
I think success, there are different levels of success. And I think I think it can be defined as any goal you're achieving, any goal that you set out for yourself. So if you decide today you want to walk around the savannah one time, and whether you get it in a specific time or over over a longer period, you know, the fact of the matter is you got it done, and so that in itself is a success. You know, so that for me, yeah, any goal that you set out for yourself and you achieve that would be how I would define success.
Great. So thank you so much for joining us. I hope you had fun.
I did.
I mean,
It wasn't so bad, right?
Wasn't so bad.
Yeah, you know?
First time for everything.
Of course. And
They're always the most nervous before the camera.
That is very true. And I mean, listen, look out for her. You'll see Stephanie on a stage or 2 or 10 in the very, very near future.
Well, hold on. She might just turn traitor like the rest of them and go abroad. You never know.
Well, why you have to say it like that?
Because that's how I said it before, so we need to be, equal.
You on your own.
On that note, though, what Sean said before, when I was listening out of studio,
Right.
Word of mouth is very important. I would say maybe even equally as important as the social media thing. So I've gotten to where I am now because of live performance. And I've not had much of a social media presence just yet, but getting out there and literally just doing what it is that we do, is a very important thing.
Yeah.
So in this space.
Yes, for sure. Just do it and the puzzle pieces, they'll fall into place. Just do it. Just keep doing it.